Welcome to Tech Tuesday. My name is Abbie Ritchie. I am the CEO of Senior Savvy, and you can find me here every Tuesday talking with people who are engaged in H-Tech innovation. We have a really special show for you because this is the 100th episode of Tech Tuesday, which makes me feel both old and humbled and wonderful all at the same time. Before we get started, let's go ahead and run our intro. Okay, welcome back to Tech Tuesday. I have invited someone very, very dear to me, my brother, Todd Hartley, onto the show today to interview me. Welcome back to Tech Tuesday, Todd. Welcome.
Wow, I just got chills. It's so great to see you, and what an awesome milestone, 100 episodes of Tech Tuesday. Tech Tuesday, congratulations.
Yeah. Thanks, bro. Thank you. Thank you. So for those of you who have heard me talk about how I got started and why I started doing this, I would say it's really because of this guy right here who lit a fire under me. And this was in 2020, I think, and started to say to me, Ab, nobody knows about you. You got to start posting on social media, ding, 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 and doing videos. Is that right, Todd?
Well, I mean, look, you got such a gift, and especially the love that you have for people like the grandparents that we were raised by. And you have always, since we were kids, a knack for technology and being able to explain it, that it just felt like there was an opportunity for you to really impact people's lives. And I needed to light that fire in you. But who knew that? Like, how did this whole thing really get going? Like, how did you get started with Tech Tuesday? Like, give me some info on that.
Okay, well, it's funny you should ask that. And I'd like to go ahead and bring on Steve Moran. Has been such a guiding force in my career. Welcome to Tech Tuesday, Steve. This is where you drop in.
So have I ever been on Tech Tuesday before? I think I have once or twice. So it's like really weird to be on somebody else's show. So, but I am just, I'm really delighted that, 100 shows is like crazy cool. And,
crazy cool. Yeah.
We started talking, and you actually suggested that we do this, and it just kind of made some sense that we give it a try, and here we are still trying.
That's right. Here we are still trying. It's funny because about 2 years ago, a little bit more than that, Steve and I have been colleagues, and we met a couple times, and he's been like a big brother to me. And I love my brothers because my brother Todd has been amazing to me also. And when you find someone who can speak life and truth into your career, follow them and you leave them. And about a little over 2 years ago, Steve asked me to fill in for him on an episode on his show. And I thought, okay, I trust him. I'll do that. And if he's asking me to, if I can help him in some way, okay. So I remember you had an interview to kind of do an unboxing and to walk through a whole, but you didn't give me a lot of parameters. And I remember while I was doing this interview, thinking to myself, is Steve interviewing me, interviewing this other person, right? And I was thinking like, okay, because if that's what's happening here, I like it. I really like it. And I know immediately when I am in the right place because I get energized and engaged and I'm passionate and it's a great feeling. So I was really enjoying that. And that was sort of exactly what you were doing by putting me in the spotlight and doing that interview. So I want to thank you for that tremendously.
Oh, I'm just really delighted with the following that you have created. As you know, I've got to, of course, always get this line in that, we're completely sold out to this idea that we make the lives of people who live and work in senior living better. And technology is a big part of that. And what you're doing, talking about technology, new technology, better way to use technology is a really, really critical piece. Probably it's never been more important to the industry as it is right now.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. And so let's get on with the interview, Todd.
All right.
Go ahead and ask me some piercing questions, because I'm
Yes.
usually in that spot.
Okay. So look, when you ask your brother to ask piercing questions, you really have to be careful the amount of open territory you provide, because, brothers' responsibilities really to embarrass. But I want to talk with you about what you've learned. Like, this has been not only transformational for the audience and how they can use technology, but like, what have you learned from streaming, and what surprised you the most as you've gone through this process?
So one thing I've learned really, really well how to do is to listen. That's what I've learned. It's to listen, because in these interviews, when people are talking, it's sort of like, yeah, you could have an agenda of questions, but you've got to be able to listen to what they're saying and respond intelligently. So I have learned how to listen. Prior to doing Tech Tuesday, I was interviewed by a lot of people, and just giving my facts, giving my tips, giving my statistics. So it was really a total shift of approach and presence. At this point, I'm listening and trying to get the topic always onto a playing field that's going to help our viewers.
And when you're working to help your viewers, like, what do you have in mind? Like, what is the kind of technology that stands out for you that in your brain, you're thinking, my audience could benefit learning from this? Walk us through that process.
So it's always a matter of how it's going to really benefit the senior living operator, and in two ways: occupancy and staffing. It's always two ways: occupancy and staffing. So how is the technology going to support the senior living operator and or the resident in that way? And so I'm always thinking, like, first of all, what haven't I already taught? What haven't I already covered? And what could possibly be somewhat controversial? Like, a year ago, I wanted to do a show on toilet tech. That was something I was really interested in, because no one else is talking about toilet tech. And I think I was tipped off to it at CES, when there was a lot of focus on toilet tech last year at CES, but no one wanted to talk about it. And so I love talking about these topics that no one talks about, but they're there and they need to be discussed.
Okay, so when you find a topic that is in an important area and it needs to be discussed and it applies to your target audience, now you've got something that's a topic that people would be interested in. And how do you find guests? Like, how does somebody become a guest on Tech Tuesday?
Well, just open up my DMs for you to send messages to there and tell me you want to be a guest on Tech Tuesday. That's one way. I do get a lot of people saying, oh, I want you to check out my technology. Go ahead, look at my OTC hearing aids, try these out. I want to be on your show. And sometimes it fits and sometimes it really does not. But when I am looking for guests, I always find them on LinkedIn. I'll go into groups, I'll find different chats. Like, I had a show on hearing aid innovation, and there's just a whole group of folks out there that are obsessed with improving the hearing of older adults.
Yeah, that's beautiful. We've got some elderly neighbors, and Saturday night we had them over for dinner, and I've never been able to communicate with her, and she just got new hearing aids. And it changed the whole night, not only for her because she wasn't stressed out, but because she was part of the conversation and we learned things about her that we had never known before. Technology is an incredible blessing, especially for seniors. Take me through your favorite episode, Ab. Like, is there an episode that stands out of 100 that you were like, that's great technology and a great topic, besides, of course, the potty talk? What else hits your mind as being something that really stands out?
Well, I do think that Auracast, so on one shows, I had on a panel of folks talking about hearing aid innovation. And in that show, someone mentioned the word Auracast. And anytime I learn something, there's a new technology out there that I don't know about, I want to know about it. And so Auracast is a new type of Bluetooth. And so I just started looking into researching it, and I get really excited and motivated by these new innovations. And so once I do that, what I started to do in the past couple of months, and this is a way that I've grown in the show. In the past, I would just have a guest on, and then I started to think, you know what? Let's have a panel. Let's get a panel of people on to talk about this topic, to add in their perspective and their innovation to make the conversation more engaging. And once I started inviting panels of people on, it really took another life. And I was really excited about it. I felt like I was having a renaissance of innovation in terms of booking guests. So I had people on to talk about Bluetooth technology, to talk about Auracast, and then we dialed down even more. And when I had, say, the president of Otakon on, or the people who work for Bluetooth, that to me was cool. That was super cool. I was very, very excited about that.
Yeah, I can see. And then technology is really fascinating because it's always new and evolving. I got two more questions for you. And I know we've got some guests that we want to bring in, but like, what advice do you have for people who are thinking about live streaming, that want to like dip their toe into the live streaming to cater to a niche audience? What advice can you share for them?
I'm so glad you asked this, because it comes up often enough that people do want to have their own show, and that people do want to get the message out there. And one thing that you taught me, Todd, was just to practice it and practice it regularly. So early on in I think this was beginning of 2021, you said, Ab, I want you to go live on Facebook. And I thought, oh, there's no way. That's a terrible idea. No, you said, I want you to go live on Facebook. I want you to do it once a week. I want you to be regular, do it every Thursday, do it every, whatever it is, just be consistent, because this way you're going to start to build an audience, but you'll also start to build confidence in this regularity. And you help me hammer out an agenda and to stay focused to that each and every week. And even though the Facebook Live, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, like I was serious and committed to it. What it did was it really helped me gain the confidence and the and just being fluid with my content and talking about it, that when this opportunity for Tech Tuesday came up, I knew I already had it in me.
Yeah, I always knew you had it in you. And I think what you're saying is, like Tony Robbins always says, repetition is the mother of skill. And we're going to be rewarded in public for what we intensely practice and refine in private. And it's been an incredible honor to watch you over 100 episodes, open up your wings and serve this incredible audience. Congratulations, Abbie. Yeah,
thanks, Todd. Thank you so much. And thank you for all your coaching. I really, really appreciate it. And for Steve too. I mean, you saw something in me, and the awesome thing about working with Steve is that Steve is very hands-off, and he'll intervene when he needs to, but he does not micromanage. And he's just been so encouraging, as well as the staff at Senior Living Foresight. So I can't thank you enough. And I'm just so grateful. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. There you go, Steve. So there you go, Todd. Thank you. Well, I wanted to invite some of my favorite participants on. I've got some folks who have been with me for quite a while. They're always in the chat. They're always participating and spurring me on. And so I would love to bring on anyone who's with us right now in the green room or in the chat. Hello, welcome to Tech Tuesday, Anna Hall. Anna's been with me for a couple of years now. Welcome, Anna.
Abbie, thank you for having me here to celebrate you on your 100th episode. It's been amazing to see your journey in your business, in your growth, in your, magnetic energy that just comes out through Tech Tuesday. I love watching your show, and I'm really excited to celebrate you.
Awesome. I'm so appreciative. Now, Anna and I've been working together since 2020, seems like eons ago. But Anna has been such a big supporter of mine and really encouraging, and someone who's seen me grown so much. Anna, do you have a favorite episode that you want to talk about?
I can't. You know, I like to be prepared, and I've looked through a lot of the episodes and I've been there, but you know, I love the vast expanse that you cover in terms of technology for senior living, which so needs to understand what's out there. We've gone from an industry that wasn't very engaged in technology to now understanding the vastness of the tech world. And I think what you do is you help break it down into bite-sized pieces so that people can understand. Some of my favorites have been on audiology and using a technology to help with hearing in community. I mean, we all know how important that is to prevent the symptoms of dementia and to live a full life. I love how you have embraced talking about robotics and AI. And I'm super grateful for the episode that you had me and Kin Capsule on to talk about technology and storytelling. So that's just an example of all the fun topics that you cover and why I like to watch every week.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Anna. And thank you for all of your encouragement. I really appreciate it. You know, Todd, you mentioned topics and how I come up with topics. And, you know, recently I ran a topic by the staff and I didn't get a lot of support. So I'm going to throw it out here right now because I think it's vital. And I would love to know, for anyone who's watching in the audience right now, what you think about it. And here it is. It's called Tech Toys for Older Adults. Tech toys. All right. Now, this might just be like toilet tech. Nobody wants to talk about it this year, but next year it's going to be spot on. So the reason I want to talk about tech toys is because older adults still have sex. All right. They still have sex. And so there are certain toys
those
out there.
kind of toys. Now I know where you're going.
Toys.
Yeah, because see, I was a little bit confused to start with, but I got it now. Yeah.
Well, I knew exactly what you were talking about, so I don't know what that says about me.
Yep. So, you know, right now, not really a huge topic of conversation, but this year I do believe it's going to be more of a topic. So I'm interested in covering that.
It's a huge topic. And they have lives and passion and daydreams. And by the way, I think it's obvious, you know, I've spent a large part of my career in the medical space. People that have a active, healthy sex life also live longer and are healthier. So it should be a topic, especially inside of your, you know, your program.
Awesome. Steve, any
Yeah,
comments?
I do think it's an important topic. It's an area that does come up a bit in senior living. Mostly it has to do, the area I see it is mostly that consent with memory impaired residents can be a real challenge. And so thinking through that. And so mostly the conversations are fairly negative. And so what I really like actually about talking about this, being willing to talk about this, Abbie, is it puts a more positive spin on it. Because Todd, you're right. I mean, the data in terms of what it does to people's happiness and life satisfaction is really significant.
Yeah. All right. 2024, here we come. So,
and you've got another fan show that just showed up here.
Yeah. Aw, welcome Tech Tuesday, Christine. I'm thrilled that you're here today.
I am thrilled to be here. I was just going, I really need to get through all of these emails that I've been ignoring over the last several days, and went, oh, it's the 26th. It is your 200th episode, right?
100.
Yes. 100. Oh, it's 2 years. I'm not there yet with mine. but you are not just an inspiration, you have really opened my mind to so much that has to do with aging. I'm the aging enthusiast, so I just get really excited and then I push too many buttons and get in trouble and get in everybody's space. And you were kind enough to be a guest on my show in a wonderful group conversation. But some of the things that you've brought encouragement to me just in like private messages. So I'm just so thankful. And I do look forward to actually coming and seeing you face to face. That is going to be a great day. We almost made it. We almost made it to Arizona a few months ago. But you've brought people on screen who there was one gentleman, and he was definitely a gentleman of longevity. And everything he dropped was a gold nugget. Just talking about life as a person who loves technology, loves learning it, loves sharing it with others. I wish I could just bring his name out, but I would have to go back and look at all your episodes. From that to people who I just listen and try to pull out some words that make sense to me, but it's the stories that are the best, because then you say, oh, that happened to a person. Oh, I used to serve as a caregiver. Some people, a family that was challenged in that way, or had been so clever in creating their own solution to problems. So anyway, I'm just jabbering away. I actually got on screen. Thank you very much, Steve, for noticing me. So I'm so grateful. I'm glad this isn't like your finale and you're like, well, it's been a great run.
Goodbye.
Pretty much,
yeah,
really. We've pretty much touched on everything. Everything's been invented. They're closing the patent office. So I'm so glad this is just a celebration of your first big milestone.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Christine. You know, what I love about Christine is that she's awesome in the chat and she will connect with everyone who's there. She poses thoughtful questions. She summarizes episodes like no one else. And I'm so grateful for her loyalty and just her continuous participation. And when I think about these episodes that you might be referring to, I think that they have to do with the resident experience. So in one case or another, I've had people on their residents at senior living communities that have a point of view. They have a perspective. They have a life wisdom to add to the conversation. And so I can think of several of these guests, including Jack Cummings, who has been on the show to talk about the resident experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
There's so many factors together. The willingness of people to come on screen. It's not always comfortable for people who really have a solution and a perspective. It's not always comfortable for them to come on to the screen, but boy, when they do, what a difference it makes. But I completely agree, because both you and I have had best friends who, you know, like a group of best friends, and they all were like celebrating their 96th birthdays that year. And what they have to say, just, I don't know, it's exciting to me. I just, when I was serving individuals, sometimes I was just a little over half their age when I first started being hired to be an in-home caregiver. And I just thought, there's like no age here as we're talking, as they're sharing from what is important to them. I do remember, I'm going to use the word clever again, because I do remember a person who had a huge physical challenge at that point in their 90s to overcome.
Mhm.
and how they described it as, I've been rather clever lately, how I've been overcoming this challenge. And also those who would allow me, and you experience this, Abbie, when somebody they just kind of drop the professionalism or the barrier that we put up when we don't know someone that well yet, and they kind of drop that, and they just kind of come in from the angle of, this has really helped me with my loneliness, with my grieving. This has really helped me reunite with family members, or feel like I can trust myself to continue living on my own, or making decisions on my own, or I know there's somebody backing me up,
Yeah.
or I feel, just all those things. And you're just like, wow, thank you for saying that. Someday I'll be you, but what they're talking about applies to right now too. I'm in my 60s. I don't know, Todd, have you hit your 50s yet?
I have, and so I'm in the club.
There you go. You're in the club, but it's like the treasuring club. It's like what they're saying is actually helping me right now. It's helping me to pre-plan. It's helping me to become an advocate for myself, or to become an advocate for someone who has a challenge, a problem, or something that they're trying to enhance. But
Yeah.
there's this thing in the way, or they just get that out of the way, and then I can move forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, Abbie,
I want to, yeah.
Abbie, I have a couple more
Go for it.
questions for you if I can.
Okay, go for it.
Because I know we don't have a lot of time left, but when you look at the tech world for seniors and for senior living in particular, what do you see? How do I ask this? What do you see on the horizon, or maybe different questions sort of related, is what needs to be invented that hasn't been invented yet?
So, one thing I'm really excited about is the ability for people to hear in public spaces. That's something that they're working on right now that has to do with Auracast. I know when people go out and they have hearing challenges and they can't see or hear what's on the TV in the airport because their hearing aids don't connect to it. The more that we can help people feel comfortable and confident in public spaces, the better their experience will be, and the more that they will engage. So that's one thing. The other thing that really aggravates me, and it's a message that I've been trying to connect with people who are developing technology, is that when you're teaching an older adult how to use technology, nothing is simple. All right. Nothing is simple. So what that means is, like, a lot of times people say, oh, it's super simple. You just plug and play. But that's not how it is for anyone who is an older adult. And so I really know that when someone simplifies it and says it's so simple, it's not for an older adult. And I think they really don't know who they're talking to when they say that. So I would like to see more explanation, more manuals written with diagrams. That would be super for an older adult. And anything else, just an opportunity to allow older adults to get out and connect with each other more frequently.
And it is interesting,
Yeah.
because you talked about connection several times there. And it could be hearing aids allows you to connect. And it could be technology to be able to play, pan or, cards with your friends that are somewhere else in the world and have that connection. But it sure feels like the technology allows for people that are isolated one way or another, isolated from communication face to face to be able to hear, or isolated because they're in a senior living facility, but the people they love are somewhere else. It does feel like the technology allows for greater connectivity and an extension of the relationships, and even rapport developing, and less isolation. Is that what you're seeing?
Yes, absolutely. Technology has helped people connect family and friends, and that's really the piece there. When you have the desire to connect with your grandkids, you will learn how to text. When you have a desire to see your great granddaughter at gymnastics, you will figure out how to use Zoom or FaceTime. So truly, the desire to connect is what's going to take someone to the next level. And I always say this has nothing to do with your age, and it has nothing to do with your aptitude. It has to do with your attitude. So if your attitude is to connect with family and friends, you're going to figure it out. Now, I just want to circle back really fast and answer one more answer for Steve, and that is the passwords. The whole password industry, it needs to be revamped and like flushed out, and we need to come up with a fresh way of doing it because it is a hot mess. So I would love to see this worked out for older adults for sure. And then there's just one other little place here, and that's the printers. What's up with the printers? They're like these dinosaurs that sit on our desks that are so clunky, and like the technology there has not improved in years. Can I get it?
So I can tell, Abbie, I can tell you're a lot younger than I am, and I'll tell you how I know that is that from my perspective, from what it used to be with printers are so easy now. You could buy a new printer and it could take you a day to get it connected to your computer and actually printing things. And so they have gone leaps and bounds. But I agree with you on the passwords 100%. My stepfather has an investment account, and he, when I hear cursing coming, he lives with us. And when I hear cursing coming out of his room, I know it's because he's tried his password on his investment account one time too many, and they have locked him out, and it takes a phone call, and I've got to get in there and help him. And it shouldn't be that hard. You are absolutely right.
Wow.
It shouldn't be. I'm looking forward to seeing what's available at CES in 2 weeks and seeing if anything new is on the horizon, and definitely covering it because it's not something that I've been able to really talk about with a solution. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, with just another minute or two left, I want to thank you all for joining me today. Thank you for being part of my journey. Thank you for being part of this mission, and for bringing technology, connection, innovation to senior living operators and older adults living in communities. So guys, a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you.
We're cheering you on. Keep going. Keep going.
Hey, thanks. Thank you. All right. And with that, I want to thank the folks in the audience for your participation and contribution. You rock my world, and we will see you all back here next week.
Congratulations.